Hello Funny Fanatics, this is Electronics with Funny. In this video, I will talk about the different kinds of soldering irons that are most used in electricity and electronics. In the market, we can find several kinds of irons in different power levels. The right choice will depend on the type of soldering job that you need. Basically, they are divided in two groups, the pencil style and the gun style. The soldering gun is fast heating. After a few seconds after pressing the switch, it is ready to solder. The tip is heated by the current that passes through it, and it is used for work that needs rapid heating. It is not recommended for electronics because the tip is too big, but we can use it to solder almost instantly cables and wires of large size. Now that we know how to use the soldering gun, let's see how it works internally. In the soldering gun, the working method is quite different from other irons. The gun has a primary coil that generates a magnetic field in the secondary. The secondary has few turns of large size, and that induces a very large current at low voltage. This produces a very fast heating. The tip is the part of the secondary that is heated because it is made of a thinner wire than the rest of the secondary. Remember that guns are not made for continuous work. They heat too much and can be damaged. Even the plastic can melt. If you have to make a lot of joints, it is convenient to release the trigger and let it cool for a few seconds. Then you can continue soldering. As you can see, the temperature increases as we keep pushing the trigger, up to the point where it can melt the internal coil of the gun. We have talked about soldering guns. Now let's see how to use and the working principle of the soldering iron of the pencil type. Among the pencil irons, we can find two main groups, those of variable temperature and those of fixed temperature. The advantage of variable temperature is the precision when working with electronic components, especially with semiconductors and integrated circuits. A large temperature will destroy them. For semiconductors, the maximum recommended power is 20 watts. The fixed temperature irons are cheaper than the variable ones. In the market, there are irons in different power levels according to your needs. You can find irons with different types of tips. The high power ones with a chisel tip are used for copper strip or large section wire. Those with round tip and medium power can be used for medium-sized wire or to solder large terminals in PCBs. Those with a fine tip and less than 20 watts are used for soldering electronic components on PCBs. The fine tip is more precise when working with integrated circuits. Now that we have seen some types of soldering irons of the pencil type, let's see how they work. Inside this type of irons, the only thing that we find is the resistor element, which transforms the electricity into heat. The more powerful is your iron, the larger the resistor and the more power it demands. Remember that most models will let you change the tip. This gives you more flexibility with different kinds of jobs, as we have seen. As you can see, it is very easy to replace the tip. We have seen what kinds of soldering irons exist and how they work. Now let's learn how to make a soldering job of quality and resistance. A good joint has to be bright, homogeneous, compact and round. If you solder electronic components on PCB, you must touch the copper terminal with the tip of the iron, then bring the solder into contact and then take the iron apart. A good joint cannot be heated several times. You must apply the exact quantity of solder in a single step in order to fix the component. Never ever use more than 2 seconds with the tip hitting the terminal of a component, because you can damage it. Here you can see in detail the difference between a good soldering job and a bad one. If you are soldering wires, first apply enough solder to both wires, then bring them together and apply heat again with the iron. The choice of a good thin solder is very important. For electronics components on PCB, you need thin solder of 0.5 millimeters. Remember, when buying thin solder, it must be bright. If it has a dark or dull tone, it is of bad quality. Electronics thin solder is made of 40% tin and 60% lead. Do not use other proportions such as plumber's tin. The inside of the wire has flux that acts as a reducing agent, improving electrical contact. If you are working with large parts that are hard to heat, one solution is to use flux. The flux is a reducing agent and it comes in liquid and gel forms. The effect is the same. Clean the surface from oxides and impurities and prepare it for the solder to adhere easily, resulting in a nice solder job. If you need to remove solder, the best option is to use this desoldering tool that works with vacuum. It is very easy to use. Only move this lever, apply heat with the iron in the point where you want to remove the solder, and press this button to absorb the solder. Now the tin has been removed. Okay, funny fanatics, this is all for today. In my next video, I will talk about multimeters, a must-have tool in any electronics shop. I will show you how they work and how to make good measurements. Okay, funny fanatics, I hope the video is of help to you. If you like it, subscribe in case you haven't done already. Share it with your friends and leave a comment. Kisses to everyone and see you in my next video.
Se utiliza regular. No. Unidos ambas. Debes más dejes.
Bueno, continúen.
Cuando compréis 0.5. Oye, esta gafa me están haciendo sudar.